Good evening. Sorry I can't be with you this evening, but I did want to talk to you on the 2008 budget proposal. 4 budgets have been sent to notice of publication for vote by the village board. The general fund, that's an increase of $46 or 5.7% on an average home. Clean water, with no increase from the $3 per ERU. Solid waste, no increase in the $13.50 per month fee, but an optional change in service would result in a reduction of up to $1 per month. And water and sewer, there's no change in that, and that will be brought to you before a future board meeting. The budget that I want to talk to you about is the general fund budget. The facts are, taxes will increase on an average residential home by $46 annually, or about $4 a month. The dollar amount is $886 in 2008, up from $840 in 2007. The mill rate goes from $3.10 to $3.27. Expenditures increased by $800,000, up to a total of $10.9 million in 2008. What caused this increase? Besides the normal increase in expenditures for personnel, benefits, fuel, electricity, heating, and such, I'll give you some details. Debt service principal payments increased by $90,000 in 2008. Please note that in 2008, it's our spike year in the debt service payments. In 2009, our payment is $425,000 less than it is in May. That is a very important factor in our future plan. An additional police officer at $71,000. An additional fire medic at $48,000. Capital items included in the 2008 budget. Public safety is to replace radio consoles for $123,000. Police vehicles for fleet replacements and additions, $164,000. Snowplow for $136,000. A public works truck for $25,000. Parts, a John Deere mower for $36,000. Road maintenance, only $200,000. I saved road maintenance for last because there are some discussion points. This was one topic that over the past year, during election time, it was a major concern for residents, and I agree. This year, the $200,000 will serve about 3 to 4 average-sized subdivisions, and this will be an annual program over the next several years, with funding already in place for the road maintenance program. Pleasant Prairie has always had a 5-year capital plan, but the levy limits kept the village from having a funding mechanism in place. Pleasant Prairie has tried to pay for most capital items without having to issue bonds, because the village established a pay-as-you-go system. As opposed to the philosophy where many municipalities, they issue bonds for all capital items. The advantage of the pay-as-you-go system is it keeps the spending down, and it prevents municipalities from getting into the habit of borrow and spend, as sometimes they do. This can get municipalities into financial difficulty, and with it carries a large debt. There are some disadvantages to the pay-as-you-go system, as you will hear about a little later. By using the levy dollars to fund $775,000 in capital items, we are accomplishing several objectives. 1, we keep the debt to a minimum. The village general fund will end 2007 with a debt of $9.2 million. At the end of 2008, our debt will be $7.1 million. This also, number 2, it will ensure that our protective services personnel are provided with necessary vehicles and equipment so they continue to serve the village residents with the highest quality of service around. Services that we have come to expect and deserve. 3, maintaining equipment at a good functional level for public works and parks. 4, they'll stay in excellent financial health and keep or increase our bond ratings as high as they are. We will be borrowing $2.3 million in 2008 for 3 capital projects. They are bridge reconstruction for $266,000, parks, North Ball Fields amenities for $208,000, and the 80th Street project from Cooper Road to 57th Avenue, $1.75 million. As you know, the corner of Cooper Road and 80th Street is probably the worst in the village, as it is in dire need of traffic control signals. The project design and plans have been completed, but the construction component was never started due to funding. As an additional note, over the next few years, the village will reconstruct 85th Street, west of Cooper Road, and 116th Street as well. State funding has already been secured for 85th Street, and state funding for 116th Street has been applied for. I would like to talk to you about the financial health of the village next. I assure you that the village's financial health is excellent. There are 4 key tools the public can use to monitor it. 1, review the past 3 years audited financials from Virgil Kraus, who is a world leader in auditing governmental accounting. 2, review the balance sheet, or have someone help you with it. A balance sheet can provide a person with a vast amount of information if one knows how to really look for and read a balance sheet in depth. 3, the village maintains a 15% restricted reserve on the books for emergency use and to maintain our excellent bond ratings. And 4, the bond rating the village has from Moody's and Standard & Poor's both show we are in excellent financial condition. With over 20 years in budgeting in the private sector, on the county level, and now at the state level, I stated that I wanted to be the taxpayer's watchdog. What has occurred is this. When the village administrator and treasurer gave the proposed budget in its original form to the department heads and village board, it went through hours of scrutiny with additions, deletions, and modifications made by village board members. Items as small as office supplies to personnel to capital items were affected. Yet, some items were discussed without change. All of this went on open to the public on Saturday working sessions. As a representative of village taxpayers, I give this project its due diligence. I support this budget for the following reasons. 1, it contains fiscal integrity. 2, there is no waste in this budget. Yes, we cut items from this budget to reduce the rate, but I seriously have to ask you the question, do you want to pay now or pay more later? It's like when your oil light comes on in your car. You spend money to take corrective action, or you wait and suffer further damage at a higher cost. I don't like paying taxes any more than anyone else, so I certainly wouldn't support a small increase if it wouldn't save us more money in the long run. Remember, this is our first mill rate increase in 7 years. With a financial plan set in place for the 2009 budget, the future is even brighter. And lastly, I will never support a referendum for items that should have been included in the capital budget. That is why we're in this position right now. With this budget being proposed, we are getting current on our capital needs. Some of the village's future capital items have funding sources already in place. Hence, we are not just taking care of today, but we are preparing for the future. How did we get in this position?